What's the tea? 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 What's the tea?
Hello, everyone. I am the Water Bearer, and welcome back to the Water Bearer's Tea. Okay, in this episode or video, I don't know. Okay, we're talking about solar return charts and why they are so bomb. Okay, solar return charts are bomb ass. Okay, and I want to just talk about it a little bit. Okay, I'm not going to get super deep into how to decipher the solar return and all that, because there are a lot of different resources for that. And I personally offer that as well. So if you want this for yourself, get in contact with me. But I was like, I need to let people know about solar return charts in general, okay? Because they're amazing, okay? I've known about it about 2 or 3 years, and I've been using it for me. And so basically what a solar return chart is, okay, is a birth chart or, the screenshot of the sky at your birthday. Okay, because that's your solar return. Your solar return is when the sun, okay, returns back to the same place when you, as when you were born. Okay, and that happens every birthday. Every birthday, the sun is in the exact same place as it was in the sky when you were born. Okay, and then we get the whole year and we come back to it. Okay, so wherever the sun goes, that's where the seasons. You know what I'm saying? And so currently we're in Gemini season. So if the sun was in Gemini when you were born, you're a Gemini, okay, and you're having your birthday around now, okay, and that also shows how we act and we feel the energies of each sign as the sun moves through them. Like right now, we're super chatty. I'm posting so many videos, because Gemini and Mercury, the sun and Mercury are in Gemini right now, okay, and so my awareness and my mind are in this Gemini aspect. So if you're born, then that holds true for you your entire life. Okay, like for me, it's literally a screenshot. It's like imprinting. You know what I'm saying? Your first inhale. Okay, that you're breathing in what? The air, the environment, all the energies. Your first breath is the first energies you're breathing in of all the planets. Okay, yes, they're way out there, but we are made of them, and we're clearly astrology shows that planets are connected to Earth, life on Earth. Okay, and so just by breathing in. What am I breathing in now? I'm breathing in all the air of the universe. Okay, this isn't just, there's a lot going on. Okay, a lot of, and it's not even past the physical of air. The karmic dust energy. Okay, chi, all the things, life force, all we talk about that keeps life going is just freely moving through the universe. Okay, and we are constantly breathing that in. And so on Earth, that snapshot, that first breath you took in on your birth, you took in all the planets in the certain places that they are. You know what I'm saying? When the sun's in Gemini, it puts off it's in a different place in the solar system. So it puts off a certain energy. Okay, when Mars is in certain different places, it expresses itself differently, and so we feel that. Okay, now it might not be literally where you can physically literally see, oh my God, look, the trees are red right now. Mars must be in Cancer. Like, you don't really see a physical representation, but this is why astrology is an occult art. It's about the underneath the surface, looking at it. Okay, and so there's definite influence coming from the planets. Okay, and if it's not, it depends. Okay, I think as much as something is one thing, it's just the same, not in that order. Okay, so I believe astrology is to play. Yes, it does have a way of influencing us, but also I think if you're just living your life and letting life live you, okay, you're not controlling that. The planets can definitely, I think they can have influence. Some people solely say astrology is predictive. It is pretty accurate to me, okay, but do I think that's the point of it, to predict the future? Not necessarily, okay. I see it more as mirror, the principle of correspondence, as above, so below, okay. What's going on in the sky is a mirror of what's going on down here. You get what I'm saying? Your physical ailments are a mirror of what ailments you have spiritually going on. So it's like the planets are showing us, yes, it seems to happen, and oh my God, it's so accurate, what's going on now, this is exactly what I'm going through. That doesn't mean that that's cause and effect. That just means that it's a representation, okay? It's another awareness, so that you can now, you have a mirror understanding to understand yourself. You can see, okay, the planets are doing this, so that must mean something's going to be mirrored like that soon. Okay, same as relationships. Relationships are a mirror. Okay, relationships are not necessarily cause and effect. They don't necessarily affect. You know what I'm saying? It's not exactly correlated is the way I'm looking for. Okay, is the word I'm looking for. But relationships are a mirror. You can see, okay, through my interactions with this person, every time I say this or every time they say this, I get triggered. That's something that is allowing you to have an outside perspective to understand yourself. Okay, that's astrology. That's relationships. That's in general. Okay, and so a solar return chart is going to look at your birthday depending on where you are in the world, because of people, you can travel, and that affects it as well. That's cartography. Okay, astral cartography. I'm gonna make another video about that, because that's about, depending on the placement of the earth, you can shift. Like if you have a birthday in a certain place in the earth, you can shift how your year is gonna look. Okay, there's a lot you can do. Okay, astral cartography, if you want a reading on that already, I know that, so I can hook you up with that. But or just wait for the video, it's coming out in time. Okay, solar return though, that has an impact. Like my sister's girlfriend is right now, they're both in New Orleans, okay, for her 30th birthday. So this is going to be a very, I don't know necessarily, she didn't get our cartography reading, but or a solar return reading, but I know that since she normally lives in South Carolina, because she's shifted time zones, that's going to have an effect on what her birthday would have been if she would have been in South Carolina. You get what I'm saying? And so that'll show a lot. You can look at the chart and see, okay, what planets are really a key factor for you in this location. Like New York for me is my North Node location. So I understand my karmic path, my North Node, like my journey in New York. My moon line is in South Carolina. So my emotional nature, my family nature is here in South Carolina. Okay, so that's how I figured that out through astral cartography. So a lot of cool things I'm sharing. Okay, so with the solar return chart, it's that same imprinting, but as soon as the sun, it's not that the breath you take, but it's as soon as the sun is back in the same exact place, sun conjunct sun, okay, same place as when you were born, it imprints for that next year, okay. Also, I'm sorry, I got a little distracted. The lighting keeps shifting, okay. I'm outside, so the light keeps changing. My computer's trying to adjust. I'm also sitting in the shade so I don't burn up. And so I'm going to be a little bit darker than, you might not see all the details, okay, because I'm in the shade. But to let you know, because sometimes it goes like completely dark and I'm like trying to move so that it can like do that, and it's kind of distracting in the channeling. So let me just say that and get that out. Okay, so that's what's happening with my camera. Like, see how it's shifting and stuff. So solar return charts are super, super important and bomb AF, because you can literally map out how your year is going to go based on looking at the solar return chart. Okay, so looking at mine, I looked at this year, my solar return chart is insane. Okay, literally my North Node, again, the same point, it's a very strong point, is conjunct my ascendant on my solar return. So it's everything changes. You have a new, like I have a Sagittarius ascendant this year. You get what I'm saying? Last year I had a Libra ascendant. Okay, so now I'm going to come off more Sagittarian. Notice all my videos are like outside. I'm traveling a lot more. So I was just in New York. Now I'm down South Carolina. I'm going to be moving a lot this year. That's Sagittarius, and that's my North Node. That's what I'm supposed to be doing, traveling and teaching. Okay, I've noticed how much more teaching I've been building and adding since my birthday. This is my path. Okay, and so that's what I'm doing, because it's had a lot to do with my solar return chart. Okay, because it literally shows the planets, and it also, you can look at how they interrelate. Notice my North Node is the ascendant, okay, is 20 degrees of Sagittarius, okay, that for me, and that's my North Node placement, okay, but also Jupiter. I happen to be having Jupiter conjunct my North Node as I had my birthday. So in my solar return chart, Jupiter is sitting on my ascendant, meaning I'm going to be expanding and teaching all this year and traveling all the Jupiter things, okay? At the same time as Jupiter sitting also it was on my natal North Node placement, if that makes sense, okay? So you have to look at not only the chart for your birthday, my 2019 birthday, but also use my original birth chart and put them together and see how they relate, okay? So this is why, if you want the solar return chart, this is what I do, okay? So I can hook you up. But if you want to do it on your own solar return chart, you can definitely type in and look at what the chart is, okay? Well, where the planets were on your birthday, okay? It's major, major, major effects, okay? And then you can also look at what the planets were doing, if there's any squares, trines, conjunctions, okay, what's going on, okay? On my birthday as well, Lilith and Mercury were conjunct, okay? So my mind and the aspect of Lilith, the energy, I'm going to hold that. And I think similar to Lilith this entire year, okay? And also, what's crazy is on my Mercury return, because you can do returns for every planet, okay? A Mercury return chart checks and sees, you know, how your mind's going to work for the year, okay? When I had my Mercury return, guess what planet was conjunct Mercury still? Lilith, okay? My Mercury return happened only 2 days after my birthday, so Lilith was still in that same place. So, and that was exact. Lilith was exactly on my Mercury return. And I also had my Mercury return on the new moon in Aquarius. Okay, exact. It was like the new moon happened at 4. My Mercury return was like 4:04. Okay, so my mind is also getting a new moon, a new birth this year for me in my mind. Okay, and that's so true. Okay, so do you see how important these charts are? Okay, you can get a chart for your Pluto return, but that happens. That's not going to happen. It happens every 250 years. So, I mean, it may, if you live that long, hey, we can get if I'm here in 250, let's get a reading, okay, for the Pluto return. But Uranus return every 84 years, I believe. Let me go back, okay. Let me not use the outside planets because they take forever. The sun, every 360 days, or 360, I always mess that up, 360, okay. Return, solar return. The moon, noticing how your emotions are going to run for that next month, because the moon goes through every 28 days, 29 about, okay? So every time the moon's in Gemini, I look at that chart and see, okay, when the moon hits the same place when I was born, let me look at that chart, because as the moon passes through that chart, it's going to affect things in my emotions, and that is spot on, okay? Lunar return, that's what that's called, okay? Mars return happens every 2 years. My Mars return is coming up. So I'm wrapping up the energies of what I've been doing and my actions for 2 years, and I'm about to start a new 2-year cycle of new actions, new energy, a new way of asserting myself, okay, which I can completely feel, okay? So you see how everything's coming. I just had my Venus return. All my returns have been coming in recently, and I've been doing a lot of new beginnings and new starts, okay? So, again, if you can Google all these things. Mars return, you know, for me, the moon is at the top of the sky, was at the top of the sky when I was born. And so that's a very important planet for me, okay? It weighs very heavy on me. So I really look at my lunar return every 28 days. I'm really strong. I have a screenshot of it to always look and go back. Ooh, what's going on today? Oh, the moon's on where Mars was in my return chart. So, okay, so that makes sense, okay? So see how these returns are so important, okay? And of course the solar return, because that's the whole year, all right? Now let me get into the coolest part of the solar return, okay? When you look at the solar return chart, the sun will be where your birthday is, okay? And the planets will be scattered. But the sun will move through your entire solar return chart in the year, right? Because it's going to have to go back to the same point for your next birthday. So as the sun hits all the other planets, okay? So for me, let me explain. This lighting, I cannot deal with it. So let me explain really quick. It's super, super cool. I moved from New York down here the day the sun hit my Uranus in my solar return chart, okay? In my solar return chart, Uranus happens to be in my 4th house of home, okay? Does that say something, okay? And so, as soon as the sun, my awareness hit that Uranus, I was moving homes. Do you see that, how that does? And I was looking at my solar return in February, around my birthday, and I was planning to move and set a new lease in March the 1st. Me and my roommates were planning on moving to a new place for the new year. And I was like, why does it say I have all this? I had Mars and Uranus in my 4th house, which is both indicates moving a lot. Okay, and I'm like, this is saying I'm going to have to move a lot this year. Like, what's going on? I'm supposed to be moving on the 1st, and that's supposed to sit for the year. Well, I ended up not moving on the 1st, had to move back into my apartment. And then we tried to apply to stay the entire through August. And I was like, but in April, this is when this thing is going to occur. I have this Mars Uranus in April, okay? Why? 10 days or about 15 days before I ended up moving, my landlord called me and said, hey, your extension you asked for got denied, so you have to move out in 2 weeks. And I was like, what? Okay, excuse me. So this is the solar return chart. I didn't necessarily know how it was going to play out, but I knew in April I'm moving. Something's going to happen in my home. Okay, I was just thinking of maybe arguments or something. No, I literally moved. Okay, so do you see how important this is? Okay, and so as the sun transits all those planets, different things occur. Okay, now there's more planets than that. Okay, when Mars hit my Uranus, okay, in the solar return chart, okay, I found out about the moves. You get what I'm saying? So it's like each planet, as they hit different planets in the solar return chart, they light off different events in your life. Okay, so to look at solar return chart is so important, not only to correlate it with your natal chart. Okay, like my ascendant is Sagittarius, but that's in my 4th house of home. Notice, so this whole year, what am I thinking a lot about? Home. Okay. Also, my business is where? From home, and I've been doing what? Building it. So you see how much focus I've had because my ascendant in my solar return chart is in my 4th house in Sag on my north node. You get what I'm saying? This solar return chart stuff is serious, y'all. Serious, okay? So serious. This lighting is getting on my nerves, okay? But we're going to make it work. We're going to make it work, okay? So important, guys, okay? This is just kind of a little spiel about solar return chart. I didn't write any notes. I literally was using the restroom and was like, oh my God, why haven't I made a video about solar return charts? That's like so important. Everybody needs to know about solar return charts, okay? So if you've already had your birthday, you can type in and look for the solar return to see what's been going on, okay? If you need help with that, of course, again, I'm here, okay? And also, it's just super, super cool. Like, there's different patterns, you know, like the moon usually transits for 3 years in the same sign for every solar return chart, okay? It's not just random, the solar return charts. Literally, your solar return hits in certain aspects every year. It's, like, insane, okay? Like, right now, I currently have Uranus in my 11th house, okay? In my solar return chart, okay? Helping me to break free from friendships and networking and groups like that of my past, but also 11th house rules hopes and wishes, okay, and dreams. So Uranus is making me break free in my dreams and dream more and you know, shoot for my dreams. And then next year in 2020, what happens is wherever Uranus goes, the sun follows, okay, to bring awareness. Not every time, but usually, okay. Last year, I think it is every time. Last year, Uranus was in my 7th house, breaking me into new relationships, okay? And now the sun is in my in my 7th house on this year, okay? So that I can understand and piece together my relationships, okay, in a new way, which has been really happening since my birthday, okay? So now Uranus has moved on. He's like, okay, I've broken free your relationships. Now I'm going to break free your hopes and wishes. And then guess where the sun's going to be in 2020 for me? In my 11th house. So then I can now work on my wishes and dreams all through 2020 as well, okay? So do you see how it has connections? My moon right now from this solar return was in Capricorn. Remember I was saying the moon stays in the same one for every 3 years? Last year, guess what my moon was in my solar return? In Virgo, another Earth sign, okay? I don't know next year if the moon's going to be in Taurus. I think it is going to be in Taurus, my last Earth. Or if it was in 2017. Either way, I'm hitting all the 3. So you see the solar return. There's so many different patterns and all that. I'll talk about that if you get a personal reading, or if you research. There's lots of books on solar returns, webinars, workshops. Eventually, I'll probably make a whole workshop on diving into your solar return chart. Okay, but now I want to just let you know it's so important. Okay, for your year. All right, and so. Yeah, okay, hopefully you enjoyed this reading, guys. I mean, not this reading, I'm sorry, this video, okay, about why solar returns are so bomb, okay? If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, like this video especially so that other people can get this message. By liking, you open up the opportunity for other people to get this message, okay? Comment below as well, okay? Let me know if you know your solar return chart, what's going on in your solar return this year. You know, I love chatting about it, okay? Much love, guys. Thanks for tuning in, all right? And I will talk to you later.